Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport was buzzing with its usual rhythm. The sounds of boarding calls, rolling luggage, and voices from around the world mixing into one constant hum. At gate C-27, a gate agent named Karen Dalton was halfway through her morning shift. Dressed in her navy blue blazer and silver name tag, she had been working for Atlantic Sky Airlines for over 12 years. She believed she had seen it all, and she believed she could spot trouble from a mile away. That morning, a tall, sharply dressed black man approached the counter. He wore a dark gray suit, wireframe glasses, and carried a small leather satchel. His demeanor was calm, polite, professional. He placed his passport and boarding pass on the counter. "Morning," he said with a nod. Karen looked at the passport, then at the man. Her eyes narrowed. "This yours?" He nodded again. "You traveling? Alone?" "Yes. Business trip." Karen flipped through the pages with an irritated sigh. "You sure this is real?" The man looked confused. "Excuse me." Karen held up the passport, shaking her head. "This looks fake. I've seen a lot of funny business with these lately, especially from people who look like they're not from around here." Her voice was loud enough for others in line to hear. The man remained calm. "My documents are in order. You can scan the barcode." Karen didn't. Instead, with a sharp flick of her hand, she ripped the passport in half. Gasps echoed from the people nearby. "You'll have to sort this out with security," she said coldly. "Step aside." He looked at the torn passport in disbelief, then back at her. "May I speak to your supervisor?" Karen smirked. "Not until TSA gets here." She turned her back. What she didn't know, what no one at gate C-27 knew, was that the man she had just humiliated was Michael R. Ellison, Senior Federal Aviation Administration Inspector, and today was his scheduled undercover audit. Asterisk. Michael had been with the FAA for 19 years. His job was to conduct surprise inspections on airlines, airports, personnel, to assess compliance with federal regulations, especially regarding passenger treatment, safety, and ethics. This inspection had been ordered after multiple complaints surfaced about discrimination at Atlantic Sky Airlines. Reports claimed certain gate agents frequently profiled passengers based on race and appearance. So, Michael flew in under a pseudonym with real but alternate credentials. Everything was legal. Everything was planned. What wasn't planned? The anger rising in his chest, he stayed quiet, observed, watched, laughed. Karen laughed with her colleague while holding the torn pieces of his passport. 10 minutes later, airport security arrived. They approached Michael. "Double quotes, sir. We were told you had identification issues." Michael calmly reached into his jacket and pulled out a leather folder. He flipped it open. Inside was his real FAA identification badge, embossed with the federal seal. The officer's eyes widened. Karen's face went pale. Michael finally spoke, his voice even and clear. "I am Michael Ellison, Senior Compliance Investigator with the Federal Aviation Administration. I am conducting an unscheduled audit today, and what I just witnessed is a direct violation of federal anti-discrimination statutes and passenger rights. I didn't know. You thought I looked suspicious. You didn't scan my documents. You destroyed a valid passport. You humiliated me in public. And you delayed a federal inspector's boarding process." He turned to the officer. "Please, escort this agent and her colleague to the terminal manager's office. I will conduct interviews shortly." Passengers stood frozen. Some recorded with their phones. Others whispered in stunned silence. Karen tried to speak, but her voice cracked. For the first time, she realized her badge didn't mean power today. Michael's. Did the investigation started immediately? Michael interviewed 3 passengers who had witnessed the incident. All confirmed the same story, that Kieran had mocked and insulted him before destroying his passport without reason. Security footage backed it up. An internal review revealed 3 more past complaints filed against Kieran for racial profiling. All brushed off with warnings. But not this time. By the end of the day, Karen was placed on indefinite suspension. Her colleague received a formal citation for failing to intervene. The airline's director of operations, issued a public apology. And the story hit national news that evening. FAA. Inspector mistaken for passenger exposes racism at major airline. Michael gave no interviews. He didn't post online. He didn't gloat. He simply filed his report. The FAA imposed a $2.4 million fine on the airline and ordered all frontline staff to undergo mandatory anti-bias and passenger rights training. They also issued a new rule. Any gate agent who destroys valid travel documents without following verification protocol will be subject to license revocation. Michael went home to Atlanta the next morning. As he boarded his flight, another gate agent recognized him. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For reminding them that not all passengers are powerless." Months passed. Karen's name trended for days, then disappeared into the internet's forgotten corners. But the story remained in corporate training sessions and legal seminars. Airlines across the country revised their frontline protocols. Michael continued his inspections, quiet as ever. He never saw Karen again. But once, on a connecting flight to Denver, a young black boy walked up to him in the terminal. "Sir, are you the guy from the video?" Michael smiled. "I guess I am. My mom showed it to me. Said it's why I should never let people decide what I'm worth just by looking at me." Michael knelt down. "She's right. Remember, sometimes the people they ignore are the ones making the rules." The boy nodded. Michael walked away. And somewhere behind him, another gate agent scanned another passport, a little more carefully this time. Because respect, like travel, is a right, not a reward.